Good morning and welcome to the 55th program of the Harlan E. Boyles Distinguished CEO Lecture Series. I hope you enjoyed the video that played a moment ago. The history of this series is very important to us. At this time, I would like to recognize a couple of special guests. First, retired Senator Broyhill, who, as you just saw in the video, was instrumental in creating the lecture series and is with us here in the audience today, and alongside him, Ken Peacock, who was also instrumental in creating this lecture series. And second, Edward Boyles, up here with us on the platform. It is for Edward's father, Harlan E. Boyles, that this lecture series was named. After serving our state with distinction for more than 40 years, Harlan retired as treasurer of the state of North Carolina in 2000. He was a leader, a statesman, and a gentleman. The Walker College of Business is honored to sponsor this event in your father's name. As a result of this series, students are able to learn from and interact with high-level business executives. This event is just one example of how we are able to achieve our mission of delivering transformational educational experiences that prepare and inspire our students to be ethical, innovative, and engaged business leaders who will positively impact our community, both locally and globally. Students in the audience, please do remain seated throughout this event. Your ID cards will be scanned only at the conclusion of the program on the concourse level. It is now my pleasure to introduce our platform party. Today's featured speaker, Mr. John Ozzie Osborn, President and Chief Executive Officer of BBDO New York Advertising. Dr. Sherry Everetts, our Chancellor at Appalachian State University, and Mr. Edward Boyles, Managing Director of Wells Fargo Securities. I now invite Appalachian State University Chancellor Dr. Sherry Everetts to bring greetings.
Good morning, and thank you, Dean Norris. I am very appreciative of being part of today's event. I want to thank you to the business leaders, faculty, staff, students, and special guests who are in attendance today. We are honored that you have chosen to take time out of your very busy schedules to be with us today on the Appalachian campus. Your commitment to Appalachian State University is very important to us. We believe what you experience today will provide even more incentive for you to remain engaged with Appalachian State. A special thank you to Senator Broyhill, who has been a great advocate and friend to Appalachian for many, many years. We're delighted that you and your granddaughter, Ashley, have joined us today. I would also like to join Dean Norris in thanking Mr. Edward Boyles for his ongoing support of the Boyles Distinguished CEO Lecture Series, as well as of Appalachian. This is the second Boyles CEO lecture since I became Chancellor, and I look forward to attending many more in the years to come. I am elated that John Osborn, President and CEO of BBDO Advertising, has traveled from New York City to serve as our CEO lecture today, and I think it's going to be a fabulous show. Dean Norris will now introduce our dynamic CEO speaker.
Thank you, Chancellor Everetts, for your comments and for joining us here today. It is now my pleasure to introduce our featured speaker, John Ozzie Osborn, who joined BBDO New York in 1991 and was named President and Chief Executive Officer in 2004. Under John's leadership, BBDO New York has increased revenue by more than 50%, expanded its client base, diversified worldwide in the workforce, and expanded the service offerings to include digital, design, and healthcare marketing. The result, BBDO New York has been named as Agency of the Year 15 times by various media outlets. As you'll see firsthand today, John, or Ozzie as he has told us to call him, is an energetic, positive, and passionate leader. He has built strong client relationships and led large multidisciplinary teams in the creation of powerful communication programs. He is actively involved with many of the agency's clients, such as FedEx, Foot Locker, Johnson & Johnson, GE, Lowe's, Mars, Monster.com, Visa, and the American Red Cross, just to name a few. And I believe some of those folks are here in the audience today, so thank you all for joining us. Today, BBDO is delivering some of the most innovative cross-channel ideas of any advertising agency while continuing to deliver cutting-edge TV work in the industry. Most recently, you probably are aware, BBDO debuted innovative and popular commercials that garnered attention and accolades after the Super Bowl. Commercials that you probably remember seeing included Snickers, Carnival Cruise Lines, GE, and Bud Light. Ozzie has been equally active outside the business, lending his talents to other important causes. For example, he's president of the board of directors of the Police Athletics League of New York, chairman of the board for the American Red Cross of Greater New York. John is also passionate about the importance of diversity in the industry. He has served as chairman of the board for the Center of Excellence in Advertising at Howard University, and as chairman of the board of the American Advertising Federation, AAF, the unifying voice for advertising. More recently, Ozzie accepted an invitation from Fordham University to serve as the executive in residence for the Center of Positive Marketing. In recognition of his many accomplishments, Ozzie was a recipient of the 2012 Ad Color Award, celebrating diversity champions in advertising, media, marketing, and public relations. In 2003, he was inducted in the AAF Hall of Achievement, which honors people 40 years of age or under for their contributions to the business. He has been named the Crain's New York Business List of 40 under 40, as well as B2B Magazine's Who's Who in B2B. In 2006, John was named the Young Global Leader by the World Economic Forum. You're sensing a theme here, very young, highly successful young man whom I'm sure the students can greatly benefit from hearing from. Ozzie earned his bachelor's degree at Dartmouth, for which he continues to serve as a member of the Alumni Association Friends of Dartmouth hockey program. He's married to Leslie and is the proud father of a 9-year-old daughter, Caroline, 8-year-old son, John Jr. I think you told me last night they're actually now 10 and 9. They've had some birthdays. It is now my sincere pleasure to introduce John Ozzie Osborn to you.
Thank you very much.
Step down to see you.
What's that?
You want us to step down to see your show?
Sure. Thank you very much. Well, good morning. Can you guys hear me okay? It is truly a pleasure to be here with you this morning. Sorry about the weather. When you work in advertising, you get a lot of blame, but I'm sorry I can't take full credit for the weather. And happy tax day for those of you who haven't filed. Get on it. For those of you who have, congratulations, I think. I want to begin with a couple of thank yous. I want to thank the Chancellor for hosting a great dinner last night. I had an opportunity to interact with several members of the administration, as well as several faculty members, and I have to say, it was a real treat. I always get inspired when I get to go to colleges and universities. I find that I learn an awful lot, and last night and this morning have been no exceptions. That's why I love doing these kinds of things. And I also want to thank Dean Norris, as well as all the folks that met with us this morning. Lowe's was mentioned earlier, and I want to thank the Lowe's family for coming out this morning, especially given the weather. Lowe's is we're nothing without our clients, just to be very clear. And I have the good fortune to have been working for a number of years now with Lowe's Home Improvement. The key word being improvement. They never stop trying to improve. And there's a good lesson to be learned there. But the Lowe's folks, they are really like family. It's business, but it's also deeply personal. So I want to thank Tom Lamb and Ricky Barger and Larry Stone, Lowe's alum, for coming out this morning to be here with us this morning. Again, we're absolutely nothing without our clients. I want to begin with a slide that I originally intended to be the last slide I was going to show. And I put it up near the beginning because I just wanted to get right to the point. And by point, I kind of think of this phrase as if I had to reduce it all down into 3 simple words, sort of a tweet, if you will, that represents what I really believe in and what I stand for, it would be this: built to serve. 3 really simple but important words. Lowe's is a company that is built to serve. I think of myself as being someone who tries to be built to serve. I think of our business, advertising, as being a business that is relentlessly and ruthlessly focused on trying to serve the clients and their businesses that we serve. But built to serve is how I want to begin this morning's talk. And to really get to the heart of the matter, I want to rewind the clock a little bit to when I was younger. And let's see if this can work here. If not, little help from the tech guys. See if we can advance this baby right here. What you're going to see is a fantastic photo of me as a young lad in my 7-year-old business suit with my sister. See if we can get that to... Let's see here. Always have a contingency plan. Tom! See, this is a good lesson to always travel with your tech guys. They usually want me to travel with our HR guys and our lawyers. So I'm kind of like without netting here with you this morning. Beautiful. That strapping young lad, if you can't see the resemblance, is actually me. And aside from trying to run for president at the early age of 6 years old, what's remarkable about this photo is it really leads to the beginning of the story for me personally, because shortly after this photograph was taken of myself and my sister, our parents got divorced. Again, not a very unremarkable story. Many families go through divorces, and everyone's got their own personal story to tell. But what was a little bit remarkable for us was we ended up growing up with my mother. And she made a choice to kind of pull away from her parents because she really felt strongly. It was sort of this Boston pride thing. She wanted to raise us all on her own. So she refused any help from her parents in terms of raising us. And I think it taught us as kids a real sense of responsibility at an early age. It also led to another important step. The only area that my mother's parents were allowed to kind of help us was in education. So thanks to my grandmother in particular, I was provided an opportunity to continue on in education. And it was in college, thanks in part to that I had the good fortune to be invited to a presentation that was being given at the time by a guy who at the time worked for Leo Burnett. And he gave a presentation on advertising. And I have to say, I was hooked from the get-go. I was all in. So if anything, hopefully, maybe, just maybe this morning, through this presentation, you might be inspired, you might get attracted to this little industry known as advertising, because that was really the defining moment for me, when I saw the magic, when I saw it all come to life, right then and there. I actually believe that it's never been a more exciting and an interesting time to be in this business, because there are lots of challenges, and I'm a person that likes going into the smoke. I love a good challenge, I really do. And the time that we live in right now is really no exception. In many ways, we are facing into a perfect storm, and our clients rely on us more and more to steer the ship through that storm. And it's really not a surprise, because one of the core factors influencing all of this is the explosion of technology and the myriad and the number of different channels that are facing into all of our target groups and our customers and our consumers. And it's very, very difficult for us to make sense of it. And it's very difficult, frankly, for us to engage our customers in what it is that we're trying to tell them. And a lot of this comes down to really sheer volume. It depends on which study you look at, but roughly speaking, people are exposed to around 5,000 different messages in various shapes, sizes, and forms each and every day. You know, you guys know as much about Twitter as anyone else, but each and every day there are, at latest count, roughly about 492 million tweets. Take a look at video. Video is everywhere. Video is now populating Twitter. It's on YouTube, obviously. It's on Facebook. It's radically changed Facebook. I think the Ice Bucket Challenge had a little something to do with that. But video is extremely prevalent. And each and every day, there are 8,640,000 minutes worth of video being uploaded onto YouTube. So it's an awful lot of stuff going on. And it's all powered by this little thing right here, the chip. The chip has hyper-accelerated everything in a number of different ways. So things have really changed. Some things haven't. People still gather around the TV set. They still absorb content, but they're extremely distracted. Usually, they're looking at their phone, their iPad. They might be reading a magazine. They're doing a number of different things, which makes it much more challenging for us to, again, engage with them. So how do we do that? Well, one of the things that we use, really, that hasn't changed are stories. Stories are still the most effective ways. Now, they come in bite-sized content, and they come in long form, and everything in between. But the basic art of storytelling is really the best chance we have as advertisers and marketers to really connect with them in powerful ways. And I love this quote by Philip Pullman, who's a renowned artist, that after everything else, really stories are what are important in the world. Now, stories have been around for a long time. How we tell stories has changed dramatically, from the early days of the cavemen and women to the printing press, to the radio and the TV, on up through present. So what makes a great story? Well, first and foremost, if you can close your eyes and think of your favorite stories, usually they involved unforgettable characters, characters that really stick to the roof of your mind. They also involve really compelling storylines. I once heard Tom Hanks speak, and he talked about the essence of the best story is one where you have no idea where it's going until such time that everything is revealed and everything that you were confused about up until that point neatly falls into place. It's really kind of cool the way that works. And last, partially driven by all of this two-way social commentary, the best stories usually involve some sort of social commentary. So you're either putting your spin on it, your point of view, you're sharing it with your friends, and you're fueling it and accelerating it going forward. But there is, I think, an X factor. And that X factor I'll define as heart. A lot of the business that I grew up in was really telling people, keyword, what the difference was between this product and that product, this service and that service, this brand and that brand. And today, that's not quite enough anymore because brands exist in many ways in parity categories. So you need that little extra oomph, what I'll call the heart, that will really help differentiate a FedEx from a UPS, a Lowe's for another competitor. And it's that heart that I want to dive into a little bit more because one of the conversations that I've been involved in over and over and over again with our clients is a word called purpose. Many clients are coming to us and they say, help us invent our purpose. And we say, hold on a second. Purpose isn't something that you can just invent out of thin air. The whole soul behind purpose, it needs to be incredibly authentic and true to what the company or the brand stands for. So what we try and do is we try and reveal what the brand's inner purpose truly is. And we've had a lot of great experiences and a lot of case studies that revolve around that, revealing what the company's true purpose is. And then once we discover what the purpose is, we can craft our strategies and embark on the messaging that more often than not becomes a North Star for where the company and the employees of that company are headed. And then all the way on through to the customers that they serve. Now, I could talk about this for a long time, but I thought it would be fun. I brought some material with me, which hopefully will work. And I want to take you through some examples of what I mean by storytelling, unforgettable characters, interesting plot lines with social commentary connected to it, this power of purpose of which we speak. And hopefully by the end of this thing, it'll start to all connect together. But the first example I want to show is for Guinness beer, where our strategy can best be served up in one word, and the word is character, which to us defines the people who choose to drink Guinness as well as the beer itself. And it came to life in this story, which we premiered on YouTube, not on network TV, and eventually we turned the tap on, so to speak, and we ran it on TV. But it got an awful lot of social buzz before we even turned on the TV airwaves. And as I said, this is for Guinness beer.
Tell friendship. The choices we make reveal the true nature of our character.
So you think about characters, you think about the plot line, you didn't quite see where it was going until it was revealed, and it had a lot of social commentary bit on top of it. Now this is primarily a TV ad or a piece of film, and it exists in a consumer-driven category. So let's take a look at a very different category in the B2B space, and that would be GE. We've had a lot of conversations with GE over the years, and what they find really interesting isn't necessarily in the products that they make, because unless you're the rare exception, you're not out there buying a new jet engine or a piece of multi-million-dollar hospital equipment. They are actually appealing to a number of different audiences, shareholders, employees, and a number of other audiences. So one of the things we've cracked into is, the way we define GE's business is they tackle the world's toughest problems, and they try and deliver deep human impact in a way that's going to improve the world. And really what they are is an ideas business. And so we met with them, and we wanted to create a little film that thankfully they enabled us to do, and it was a real redefining moment for their culture and their company, and they've fallen in love with it, and I'm going to show it to you right now.
Ideas are scary. They come into this world ugly and messy. Ideas are frightening because they threaten what is known. They are the natural-born enemy of the way things are. Yes, ideas are scary and messy and fragile. But under the proper care, they become something beautiful.
So they're in the idea business. That's really what at the core of what the essence of GE is. But more and more, a lot of these businesses that GE is selling to are run by what we'll call millennials. You guys all know what millennials are. You know who they are. They're increasingly important to our clients and to the business world in general. And what we tried to do was to tell the message in a slightly more engaging way, in a two-way form of dialogue. And we premiered on April Fool's Day, just a coincidence, by the way, that it was April Fool's Day, a little something that we called the Invention Donkey. And the idea of the Invention Donkey was on that particular day, you could ask the donkey anything. So we didn't want to lose that essence of purpose or the fact that GE is in the ideas business, but we kind of redefined it slightly differently for the millennial audience in the form of invention. Now this never ran on TV. We blanketed all of our earned and owned social channels with this particular message. And then what we did is we took over the Twitter handle for GE with the donkey. So the donkey actually took over the Twitter handle. And we had the donkey in real time responding to ideas and questions from GE's constituencies. So here's the Invention Donkey.
Hee-haw!
Whoa.
Morning.
What are you?
They call me Invention Donkey. I grant invention wishes.
Do I need to rub you or something?
Do you want to rub me?
No.
Then just make a wish. Anything. Anything at all.
I would like two best friends.
Okay. Understandable? Not an invention.
Oh.
I only do inventions.
How about DVDs?
Been invented, okay? Come on, something that matters.
How about an app? Like a fun app?
You just ran into a little donkey that grants wishes. You want an app? Aim high.
Okay. Something to help power the planet?
Bingo. Close your eyes and clear your mind. Ready? Good. First, start planning this years ago. Build a massive network of think tanks, research and testing facilities. Hire brilliant people from all different arts and sciences. Pile on the PhDs. Getting all this?
Yes.
Right. Turn garbage into power, run cities on jet engine technology, and oh yeah, create data crunching windmills from the future. And then, poof, it's done.
That sounds hard. Can somebody else do this?
So that little guy is the Invention Donkey.
Who among you shall...
So he doesn't
There's
really
only one
exist.
of you, so it's you.
He's still talking. He wants to talk. I mentioned some of the tweets. These were some of the tweets that we got, and this is one of the examples of how he responded.
Suits is the next guy. Here's a design thought. Make room for big ears to stick out and tasty carrots to go in, brother. I salute your vision.
So, a lot of press, a lot of buzz, zero paid media. You can read the figures for yourself. It's got over 800,000 views. It's tremendously sticky, but it broke new ground for GE. And they want to act small. They don't want to be a big aircraft carrier of a company. They want to be scrappy, and they want to show up in a nimble way on behalf of their clients, who are, as I've established, increasingly more in the millennial set. AT&T, who here watched the Masters? Jordan Spieth? Awesome, right? AT&T is in the connections business. They want to connect you really 360 as you go through your life, with one important exception, and that would be when you're driving. It's one of the biggest problems that we face into. Each and every year, there are over 3,200, I think, fatalities due to distracted driving, over 425 severe injuries. So AT&T has leaned forward and taken this issue on in a significant way. So we worked with them. We were proud to work with them on a campaign around Don't Text and Drive. And it was a very, very simple campaign. This is a theme you'll hear more and more. Simple can amplify. And it was really just a couple of letters strung together, but it was the meaning behind the letters that provided all of the context. So I'll play you the voiceover in the 15 that's in the middle box there.
This is the unfinished text message that my son was typing when he drove off the road and died of a massive skull fracture.
So it's sort of jarring. And this is something that's very important to Jordan Spieth. And AT&T is in business with Jordan. They have formed a partnership. And at the core of the partnership is this Don't Text and Drive message. So if you watch the Masters, you might have seen this.
I feel so fortunate to be out on the tour. The only downside is being away from my friends and family. So I don't know what I'd do without my phone. I use it to stay connected. I use it to remind me of what really matters most. That's why sometimes I don't use it at all.
Spent a second talking about the American Red Cross. About 4 years ago, we were invited down to Washington because they felt they had lost their way, they had lost their sense of purpose, and they wanted us to create an advertising campaign for them. That was actually the last thing they wanted. What they really wanted was to change the narrative. And it was funny because when we were pitching the business, every time we'd walk in with storyboards that talked about what we thought it was the Red Cross wanted to talk about, they started curling up and getting very itchy, and it became very uncomfortable. And then we had sort of one of those eureka moments where we said, you know what, why try and tell others what we think they want to say? Why don't we turn the lens around? Why don't we make the campaign entirely about those who have been personally touched in a positive way by the Red Cross at a time when they need it most, at a time when they're the very most vulnerable. So we took a bit of a leap of faith, and we worked with some partners at FedEx and Sony. We put together care packages, and we sent them out to 200 families that had been impacted, whether it be in an accident or tornado, a flood, whether they had a member of the military overseas that needed to connect at a time of need when a baby was a number of different stories. We had no idea what we'd get back in, but we were absolutely amazed and delighted when roughly about 70% of those packages were returned. And it was astonishing what was inside. And we pieced together roughly about 30 different communication messages that are populated across the various channels of the Red Cross. And it's really done a lot to not only impact their prospects and their donors, but really influence each and every person that works for the American Red Cross. So we put together a little case study video, and again, I hope you'll see how it's delivering on this theme of serving and purpose in a very profound way.
It's been therapeutic to record what I go through on a day-to-day basis.
I just remember thinking, what am I gonna do? I have a newborn. I can't lose my wife.
What they did for me was give me that break to be able to get it together.
Hi. Comfort to me is knowing that out there, her life still goes on, and those recipients.
And once you hit rock bottom, there's only one way to go from there.
People know that there is always hope.
Regardless of where you're at in your life, you just don't know what's going to happen or who's going to be there to help you.
It still hurts, and I just want it to be okay.
You gave me life.
I looked down at my hands and realized I'm doing CPR.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for this guy.
There's a lesson to be learned. Life is short. Make it worthwhile.
Can you see me?
So I know what you're thinking. It's the Red Cross. It's kind of a layup, right, for the purposes of what I'm talking about this morning. So let's take a different category. How about insurance? Insurance is one of these categories you usually don't think about until, God forbid, it's too late. But we're very proud to be working now. It's a new client of ours, American Family Insurance. They're based in Madison, Wisconsin. Sorry, the Badgers couldn't get it done this year. But they're great people, and they believe in enabling people to live out their dreams to their fullest potential. They're all about dreaming fearlessly and helping to ensure and protect everybody so they have the ability to live out their dreams in whatever way, shape, or form people choose to do so. So I'm going to skip forward. I'm going to skip this video.
At American Family Insurance, we pride
what aired on the Super Bowl, not in this market, but in 17 states around the country. These are real people.
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter.
Things will get brighter.
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier.
Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Someday, yeah, we'll walk in the rays of a beautiful sun. That felt really good.
American Family Insurance has dedicated this commercial to help these people pursue their dreams. We'll also protect what you've achieved so you can fearlessly go after yours. Declare your dream with Dream Fearlessly.
So preceding the game, we had a whole campaign dedicated to getting people to send in their dreams of being an actor or a singer or whomever. And from that, we selected some key individuals to come in and audition. They didn't know what they were auditioning for. And on the spot, we offered them an opportunity to be in the spot with Jennifer Hudson, and it was a home run hit. The real key, though, was the tale behind it, because what we sparked were a lot of people sending in their versions of their dreams, which enabled American Family to connect with them and therefore begin a relationship. And that was hugely important to them. I'm going to skip over this too in the spirit of time. And I'm just going to go to Foot Locker. I get asked sometimes, this purpose stuff, it's very heavy. It feels heavy. Can you have fun with purpose? And I say to you, absolutely, positively, to steal a line from FedEx. We're proud to work with Foot Locker. And the story behind the story of Foot Locker is, over the last 5 or 6 years, they've really worked hard to change their employee base. A lot of these stores are in malls, they're in inner cities, and the people, frankly, that are now selling their products are the same people that their products are appealing to. Along the way, they've put forward the right step, and they've opened up an awful lot of employment opportunities, and they also stand in a huge way for diversity. So giving those who might not have had an opportunity to get a job, and also really pushing forth and really representing the same constituencies that they're appealing to. But they have a mission as well, and they're all around this idea of approved. They don't just sell anything in a Foot Locker store. It's only the best curated stuff, which also stands for the badge value of the people that choose to wear the clothing and put on the shoes that they actually sell. So here's an ad that in its own humorous sort of way is designed to make the world just a little bit better. Unfortunately, it has to do with sending Dennis Rodman to North Korea, but you'll see what I mean.
Man, I can't believe it's finally the week of greatness at Foot Locker.
A whole week of the most premium kicks? Feels like all is right with the world.
I'm sorry, Evander. It's your ear.
So, Mr. Rodman, round trip to North Korea?
One way.
One way? Woo!
Goodbye, old friends.
I okay?
Well, that's great. But a man's got to know when to walk away.
My ear. I kept that in formaldehyde.
One way. He said one way.
He's never coming back! Thanks.
I don't know. Things just feel different.
So for at least a week, the world's a pretty good place. Let's take a moment and talk a bit about Lowe's. Lowe's is a great example of a purpose-based brand. They're in the home improvement business, but they're really in the life improvement business, because where do you spend a lot of your time? You spend it in your home. If you're like me, I love my home. It's really where my most cherished, my family's, my dog is there, my kids, my wife. It's like a 3D scrapbook of my whole life. My home is really, really important. So when it comes to home improvement, the big barrier for me, and maybe you'll see yourself the way I do, is confidence. Do I really have the ability to really pull off that home repair, to really pull off that yard project? Do I really have the know-how? Can someone help me? So a lot of our stories we kind of term simple stories well told. In the case of Lowe's, I would venture to tell you that they're really simple solutions well told. We try very hard to give simple solutions to our customers to help them get over the confidence hump that they may otherwise face. And here's a little example of what I mean by that.
Lowe's presents how to install a new washing machine with one finger.
Maybe a little more that way.
Nice.
Now get 10% off all major appliances, $3.99 and above.
So some of this stuff is really, really simple, and the beauty is not in over-cranking it. And for Lowe's, you know, it can be very simple, and it can be relatively easy. So there's this phrase that I've been playing around with. It's called like the amplification of simplification. In this complex world in which we live, sometimes the best way to cut through all of that clutter, all of that chaos, is with a very simple story well told, or in the case of Lowe's, simple solutions well told. I give a lot of credit to our Lowe's partners for working closely with us as we have ventured out into the digital two-way world of communication. And through partnership, we've stumbled upon a lot of really great tools that we can offer up to our customers. And one of those partnerships came to life in the form of Vines. Vines had been new in the marketplace. No brand had really captured them. Now, Lowe's is sitting on hours, thousands of hours of how-to video that's been produced over the years. But we challenged ourselves and said, you know, people are so time-starved, can we serve up little gems of advice in the form of 6-second videos that might be really useful, kind of like little Easter eggs for our Lowe's customers to help them as they go through their lives. So, and I love these. Like, who knew that a stripped Phillips screw could be undone using an elastic band and a Phillips screwdriver? Or if you travel for a week, you can take an old wine bottle, put a cork in it, drill a hole, stick it in the plant, and feed the plant for a week. So now we've got over 100 of these. And I think, you know, to help tell the story of Lowe's Vines, let me show this really quick video. 34 million Vine views to date for Lowe's. We still do TV commercials.
The new vanity is perfect.
Thanks. Yeah, the guy at Lowe's helped me pick it out and walked me through the install.
You did a really good job.
Yeah, now I'm feeling like there's nothing I can't do. You know what? I'm finally going to present my idea to my boss. Never lose your cat at night again. Presenting the glow-in-the-dark cat hat. It's dark, so I can't see a reaction. It's not good.
And we have great clients who don't blink when we come in and say, we want to do a fake infomercial where we actually sell glow-in-the-dark cat hats. They actually say, okay, and they let us do it.
It seems like every day you lose your cat, doesn't it? Especially at night.
Did you find the cat? You didn't find cat? It's not funny, no.
Well, if there's one thing those cats don't care about, it's being found by you.
It's okay, we'll find him.
Has somebody seen him? One of you had to.
There's got to be an easier way to find my cat.
Well, now there is. Introducing Glow-in-the-Dark Cat Hat, the only fashionable hat for cats that also acts as a way to track cat movements using our state-of-the-art Dark Glow technology. Coming soon, you'll also be able to enjoy it in styles such as Dapper Dawn, Sarah's Dream, The Henchman, Bespoke Pilgrim, Round the Bases, and Catty O'Brien. Now, finding your cat is as easy as finding joy in life's little things, like the glow-in-the-dark cat hat. So you'll never have to do this again.
Cat! Cat, where are you? It's very dark. Can you see me?
Available now for a limited time only. Visit our website today.
I'm glad you laughed, because it would be horrible to walk out of here. In a related story, John Osborn was fired off the Lowe's business for showing the cat in the hat. But it's not just about TV executions, it's about broader platforms and extending the ideas into other sticky areas like online, where people love engaging with content, which then oftentimes will lead them to our website, where they seek out additional information or inspiration on what it is that's going on. Forgive me, I'm going to skip through a couple of these slides just because I want to get to some real meat here.
We would have introduced Twix, but...
So I mentioned storytelling. Storytelling is really important. We talked about story showing as well, or simple solutions well told. To make this point, particularly in the B2B space, not that long ago, a lot of the ads you'd see in print publications, and even, dare I say, online, it was pretty dense in copy. And no one has any time anymore. So a lot of times, visuals can carry that workload. So we're working very, very hard to tell a story through visuals as much as we used to do with words. And you can even do some amazingly beautiful things. This is a print campaign we're doing in India right now with GE, and it can be really heart-stopping stuff. So whether we're talking storytelling, story showing, solutions well told, the power of purpose, any of the themes that we've touched on here this morning, a lot of them come to life in this case study I'm gonna share with you now. Talking is absolutely nothing unless the company or the brand that we're doing business with actually has the conviction to back it up. And we were fortunate to get into business with CVS earlier this year, and they wanted to reinvent themselves, or reveal their true self, I should say, as CVS Health, helping people on the pathway to better health. And they decided to make a big bet, and that bet was to pull all tobacco out of all CVS pharmacies. That was a $2 billion bet. But they cranked the numbers, and importantly, they trusted their values and their sense of purpose, and they went for it. They hired us and several other marketing partners, and we worked in partnership with them to launch this idea in a 360 way. So this short case study video hopefully will show you how we did it.
People knew CVS as a place for everything, from shampoo to pet food. It was time to meet the CVS they didn't know. The day began when CVS leaders rang the bell on Wall Street, and America woke up to a new company name, logo, tagline, and mission to deliver the best possible outcomes for the most possible people. Visitors to CVS stores found that instead of cigarettes behind the counter, now there was this. The Last Pack, a free quit kit filled with tips and resources to help kick the habit. To celebrate the big news, we put out our last cigarette in a big way. A 50-foot tall mechanical cigarette in New York's Bryant Park that extinguished itself throughout the day. Street teams handed out last packs along with another cigarette-sized pack that actually contained birthday candles, one for each year of life gained by not smoking. We invited America to share their one good reason to live tobacco-free. Not just in the park, but across the web. Our War Room team responded to posts with custom animated GIFs created in real time, making us a trending topic with over 50,000 tweets, plus thousands of posts to Facebook and Instagram on just the first day. Some said the campaign inspired them to quit smoking, or challenged CVS's competitors to follow their lead, or declared they were switching their business to CVS. We even got a shout out from Michelle Obama. We also debuted gripping documentaries of former smokers who found their one good reason to quit. We targeted influencers with national TV, spreads in major newspapers, airport terminal takeovers, digital, and more, showing all the ways CVS Health is tackling serious issues, and the world took notice.
CVS has stopped selling cigarettes and other tobacco products today as it focuses on the health of its customers.
With over 85 original articles in top-tier media outlets and over 200 million social media impressions, by the end of a single day, America was looking at CVS Health in a whole new light.
So I give CVS a lot of credit for going all in on this, but it's also required us to go all in partnership with them. And it's not only unique to CVS, it's really kind of symptomatic of all of our client relationships. I get asked a lot in terms of our people and what really drives them, and what qualities we look for in our people as we meet the needs of our growing client base. And several years ago, we sat down and we decided to codify our value system. And we dedicated ourselves to 10 core values. These are values that we use to seek out new talent, and importantly, it's a value structure that we use to advance talent within the company. And it also holds us true to our sense of purpose, which, as we've already established, needs to be connected to the purpose of our clients that we serve. But we have a sense of purpose as well. And I thought it'd be fun to share with you what these values are, just in the chance you might be looking for a job in advertising or maybe even at BBDO. So in no particular order, we look for people who make the work better in big ways and small ways. We actually think ideas can come from anywhere, and we look for those people who are relentless in trying to discover them. We look for people that not only clients love, but really deeply respect. We look for people who are we, not me. We talked about the power of partnership. We can't possibly know everything, especially as technology is exploding. So the idea of partnership, if you can't partner, you might as well get out of the way, because for us, it is very much of a we game and the power of those relationships. We look for hand raisers, not finger pointers. There's a lot of finger pointing that goes on really anywhere, but we do seek out the hand raisers. We look for people who light up a room. Hopefully I'm doing that now, not those who suck the air out of it. So we look for people who radiate. We look for people who present well, not only present well the way they present, but present themselves well, whether they're in the office or outside of the office. Because again, what we say and what we do is truly a reflection of the clients that we're humbled to serve. We have now there's unhealthy paranoia and there's healthy paranoia. We like a little dose of healthy paranoia because it keeps us on our toes. It keeps us stirring the cement to keep it from hardening. We like people who, it's one thing to have a great idea, that's awesome, but if you can't execute the idea and it dies 5 yards from the finish line, it's good for nothing. So we really look for people that can help the idea to happen. And people who bounce back. This is a thankless business sometimes, and you do get knocked on your rear end. We look for people that are resilient and can bounce back, and people who always do the right thing. And doing the right thing, sometimes this stuff is called the squishy stuff. It is absolutely not. Purpose, doing good, because 91% of the people surveyed, and this is, I believe, a Cone study, said they would switch companies or brands for equal brands if that original brand wasn't serving the greater good of humanity or people in general. Two brands that do that, and that's a powerful number. Half the people surveyed, this is actually a Nielsen study, said they would pay more for a service or a brand if it actually led to positive impact on the world and helped humanity in some way, in a real way, an authentic way, shape, or form. And here's where the opportunity lies. Less than 1/3 of people, I think this is an Edelman study, say that they think corporations and brands and businesses and services are doing a good job making the world just a little bit better. And that may be bad news for some. I actually think it's a huge, tremendous opportunity for what it is that we do, and it's one of the things that truly excites me as I get up in the morning. And I do like getting up in the morning, not only because I'm at the age where just getting up is a success in and of itself, but I really do, because I do view it as this sort of sense of responsibility of serving. And I look at the extracurricular things I do, some of the volunteer things that I'm fortunate enough to have the time to do, the clients I'm able to serve, my relationships with my family, just everything I really think boils down to these three simple words: built to serve. So hopefully, maybe I've unlocked a little bit of inspiration in you. If you're interested in advertising, I encourage you to pursue it. It's a really neat business, especially right now, because there's a little bit of curiosity meets creativity and business, because business is good. I don't know when business became bad. Business is really, really good, especially when business is done the right way. I think business is great. I love doing it. So I look forward to getting up every morning. I'll skip over this slide. I'm going to skip over this. I just want to end with two simple words. Actually, it's one, but it's really two, and it's thank you. I am on Twitter. I do tweet every now and then. It's at OzzyPalooza. I have a funny nickname. They've branded me. And my email is really simple as well. It's just ozzy@bbdo.com. Two simple words. You rarely hear them. You certainly don't hear them enough. Thank you. Thank you for your time this morning. I appreciate your attention. Should I go sit down?
John, thank you for those incredibly inspiring words. I just really appreciate the story you've brought out about how an advertising agency can partner with businesses to help people improve their lives. I think that's an incredible story you've given us.
Thanks.
Edward, if you would come and join us. We have a special presentation for Ozzy here this morning, and Edward, if you would. The symbol of the Boyles CEO Lecture Series is the American Eagle. The eagle symbolizes strength, gracefulness, keenness of vision, power of flight. Ozzy, your passion for what you do clearly comes through, and you possess these characters.
Well, thank you very much. I'm humbled. I really appreciate it, and I've really enjoyed my time here this morning. The eagle, what did you say, graceful? Everything I'm not. I'm clumsy and awkward, and no. But thank you very much.
Display that in your office proudly, and the next time we come to see you, we'll
see
your gracefulness as it spreads its wings.
I'll have fun getting it. I'll have fun getting it through TSA. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
We did have some students submit some questions. Students will reach out to you later, and perhaps on Twitter or one of these media channels that you're on, you can respond to some of our student winners' questions. In the interest of time, we'll hold those for later. So thank you all for being here. Students, you may exit up the concourse and scan your IDs for credit for class. Thank you all.